History. Born in Waverly, Iowa, Clint Barton was young when he lost his parents to a car accident. Discontented with orphanage life, Clint and his brother Barney ran away and joined the Carson Carnival of Traveling Wonders. Becoming assistant to the swordsman Jacques Duquesne, Clint learned archery from Trickshot, Buck Chisholm, and proved naturally gifted. When Clint stumbled across the swordsman stealing money from the carnival, he resisted his mentor's offer of a bribe. Fleeing, Clint fell from a high wire, and swordsman left him for dead. Clint survived, but was shaken by the betrayal. He fell into assisting Trickshot with petty crimes. When one turned out to be less than petty, as Trickshot had been hired to kill someone, Clint rebelled. Learning Barney was also involved, Clint turned his back on both of them. Continuing his training, Clint eventually became Hawkeye, the world's greatest marksman. He was a star attraction at Thibault's Circus and then Coney Island. Powers and abilities. Hawkeye is Hawkeye. After seeing Iron Man, Tony Stark, in action, Hawkeye was inspired to become a costumed hero. His first outing didn't go well, as his attempt to stop thieves ended up with him being suspected. Forced to run, he soon encountered the Black Widow, Natalia Romanova, and fell in love. She used him to try stealing technology from Stark Enterprises. They failed, and in their last attempt, the Black Widow was seriously injured. Hawkeye tried getting her to a hospital, but she snuck away before he could. Alone, Clint took stock of his life and decided to give going straight another try. While on patrol, he saved Edwin Jarvis and his mother from a mugging. Grateful, the Avengers' butler helped Hawkeye clear his name and gain the trust of the Avengers. When the original team left, Iron Man sponsored Hawkeye to join Captain America, Steve Rogers' replacement team. The others were Quicksilver, Pietro Maximoff, and the Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff. The team was slow to be trusted by the public. Furthermore, Hawkeye's volatility made relations within the group awkward. He constantly felt the need to question Captain America's authority, and his romantic intentions towards the Scarlet Witch drew her brother's ire. As he gained confidence, his aggressive tendencies relented. Clint became a valuable member of the team for years. He also grew to respect Captain America, who became a mentor and friend. Reunions. He again encountered Swordsman and the Black Widow during his time with the Avengers. Hawkeye warned the team against the Swordsman becoming a member. Barton was proved right when Duquesne turned out to be working for the Mandarin. He was also suspicious of the Black Widow, but she'd fallen in love with him since their parting and resisted the brainwashing of her former employers. She joined S.H.I.E.L.D, which ultimately came between them. When his bow broke at a crucial moment, Hawkeye changed identity and succeeded Hank Pym as Goliath. Over time, he realized he was no more effective with powers. Furthermore, the limitations on what he could do irritated him. He ultimately gave up that identity and returned to the bow and arrows. Clint was reunited with Barney, who sacrificed his life to save his brother from Egghead, Elias Starr. After bringing the villain to justice, Clint learned his brother had actually been an undercover FBI agent since before the Trickshot incident. Following his brother's death and the end of his relationship with the Black Widow, Clint quit the Avengers. He tried to make a solo career for himself. He drifted, looking for trouble. After helping the Hulk, Bruce Banner, against Zax, he tagged along with the Defenders for a while. Realizing he was doing little to develop a solo career, he soon left the Defenders. He rejoined the Avengers to help fight Kang during the Celestial Madonna incident. Hawkeye fought alongside the reformed swordsman as his mentor died heroically. Joining the Black Knight, Dane Whitman, on a time travel quest, Kang's intervention saw Hawkeye stranded in 1873. He met many of his boyhood heroes, including Kid Colt, Blaine Colt, Rawhide Kid, Jonathan Clay, Two Gun Kid, Matthew Hawk, and the Phantom Rider, Carter Slade. With the Avengers' aid, they foiled Kang's plot in this time period. Two Gun Kid accompanied Clint when he returned to the future. The pair traveled the American Southwest. Two Gun Kid ultimately grew homesick and was returned to his own time. New life. Hawkeye returned to the Avengers not long before they had a new government liaison, Henry Peter Gyrich. He and Clint developed an immediate enmity. When Gyrich pushed for changes, including Hawkeye's removal, Clint stormed off. Hawkeye soon got a job as head of security for Cross Technological Enterprises, CTE. He protected their facilities from the likes of Deathbird, Kelsey Naramani, and Mr. Fear, Alan Fagan. Clint began dating CTE's PR officer, Sheila Danning. He also returned to the Avengers ranks, splitting his time between the two. During a battle against the Masters of Evil, he spotted Egghead about to fire on Hank Pym. His arrow caught Egghead's energy pistol before it could fire, but caused it to explode, killing Egghead. His time at CTE ended badly when he responded to a break-in and captured Mockingbird, Bobby Morse. She claimed to be an ex-S.H.I.E.L.D. agent investigating illegal activity at the company. Looking into it, Hawkeye was captured by his own men when they used Sheila as a hostage. She turned out to be a part of the conspiracy and left Hawkeye and Mockingbird to die. They escaped and survived attempts on their lives, but were eventually captured by Oddball, Elton Healy, and Bombshell, Wendy Conrad. They learned the plot was the work of Crossfire, William Cross, who had CTE building components for a device to incite aggression. He intended to leave Hawkeye's body to be found, drawing numerous superheroes to the funeral parlor he owned. There, he'd activate the device. Cross used Hawkeye and Mockingbird as guinea pigs, sealing them in a room and forcing them to fight. During a brief respite to test how quickly the effect stopped, Hawkeye used a sonic arrowhead to counter the device, keeping it hidden in his mouth. It protected him. After subduing Mockingbird, he pretended to collapse. Overcoming his captors, he shut down the operation. However, Clint was left partially deaf from the incident. Clint and Bobby had grown close during the hunt. They began a whirlwind romance which saw them married within a week. When the Avengers established a West Coast branch, Hawkeye was made chairman of the new team. Mockingbird joined him there. However, their relationship became strained. Clint learned Mockingbird had allowed the Phantom Rider, Lincoln Slade, to die during a trip to the past. Hurt that he refused to see her side of it, Mockingbird left Hawkeye and the team. Hawkeye was then challenged to a duel to death by Trickshot, but he learned his mentor was dying from cancer and wanted an honorable death. Hawkeye refused, instead funding Trickshot's treatment. The pair reconciled. Trickshot even came to Hawkeye's aid when Crossfire came seeking revenge. Coming to understand Mockingbird's actions, Clint made peace with Bobby. They began to repair their relationship. The government assigned U.S. agent John Walker to supervise the West Coast Avengers. Irate, Hawkeye stormed off the team. Learning of a Midwestern group calling themselves the Avengers, a still frustrated Hawkeye investigated. Mockingbird tagged along. Finding that the novices meant well, even if they weren't competent, Hawkeye decided to tutor them. They became the Great Lakes Avengers. Detail of his brief time with them can be found in the Great Lakes Avengers team profile. He didn't stay with them long, soon returning to the West Coast Avengers. When Mockingbird was abducted by Ultron and used as the template for his bride, Alchema, Clint realized he still cared deeply for her. They rescued her, and the couple reconciled again. Except that it wasn't Mockingbird. She'd been replaced by a Skrull as part of a long-term plan. This had begun all the way back as the real Bobby was about to file for divorce. Clint had no idea of this when the team became embroiled in a clash between Mephisto and Satanish. They managed to drive the pair off, but not before Mephisto unleashed a final blast which killed Mockingbird. Devastated, Hawkeye left the Avengers, preferring to be alone. He eventually rejoined the Avengers shortly before the Onslaught Charles Xavier, Max Eisenheit incident, which saw them transplanted to Counter-Earth. His hearing was apparently restored in the process. When they returned to Earth, Hawkeye intended to stay with the Avengers, but he learned they could only have a limited roster, and Justice, Vance Astrovic, and Firestar, Angelica Jones, were also applying. Clint withdrew his membership to allow the young pair to take his place.